It is now.
Hello and welcome on into this Monday's edition of Movie News here at MBE. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. I'm on your co-host Stephen John McLaughlin. Our other co-host, who's in bright orange, it's John Walsh. How are you doing, John?
I was doing alright, Stephen, until about 5 minutes ago when we started speaking of existentialism.
Yes.
And death, and when, realistically, which decade could you foresee as passing away, leaving this world?
Yeah, John, I've got
Get out one car into another.
I'm more confident in predicting that than I am us hitting 100,000 subscribers and which decade that's going to be. But you're absolutely
2070
right.
odds for me. That's what we nailed it down to.
Yeah. You and I are going to live forever, in the words of
I sing that a lot. I listen to that a lot. I still think I can live forever, Stephen.
John, you never know. They might
do.
come up with something one day.
Yeah, but I don't want to be an Elon Musk. Tusk.
You don't want them to crack it when you're in your 70s, put it that way. And then you're
No, I would rather it happen within the next 5-10 years.
Yeah,
well,
it would be
still
better,
semi.
John. But in that time,
capable.
In that time, I wonder what phase we'll be on in the MCU.
I think we'll be back to phase 1.
Back to the start where it all began.
Recasting Steve.
Yeah.
And Tony.
Yeah.
And Bruce.
With all the new actors that are
Natasha
right now. But John, we are talking about
Stephen,
the MCU.
There is literal F1 drivers now who were born in the 2000s.
Yeah. John, you go to the football and you're actually saying to the players now, son.
Well, I'm not yet.
Oh, you're nearly there. I think
still
only
my
one,
gen playing just now.
I think only one's actually older than you now in that first team.
Is there? I think there's a couple.
I think your sister did a bit of research.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Tricia's good at that. There's none.
She likes to put it down.
There's none fucking older than her.
I can't think of who it is though. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway,
it's Joe Hart. That's who it is.
He's a goalkeeper.
Joe Hart. Joey's about 36, 37. Yeah.
He looks a lot older than that.
He's in fantastic fucking shape. I tell you what.
He's
the top off in the Bahamas. Wow.
Yeah.
If I look like that when I'm 37, I'll be fucking happy, man.
John, we're talking MCU there, and the reason for that is I was trying to blend it in, but then we went off on a tangent, as we do. Off on a tangent.
It was me. Blame me.
I digress.
It was me. I did
it. Robert Eggers here, and the Northman director, Robert Eggers, that is. He won't helm a Marvel movie, and this is the reason why. This is coming in from Screen Rant, John, and it can take us in any direction, this kind of chat anyway, but that's the very no, it's not, it's the in a recent interview, that's where I'm going to kick off.
I was just looking at the latest grossings there for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse.
Well, John, I didn't know about this. In a recent interview with the Daily Beast, Eggers discusses his filmmaking future after the Northman's disappointing box office. I didn't realise it was doing not great. Asked if he would be rethinking his strategy when it comes to the next project he takes, the director states that while he may have to reconsider how he'd pitch a project, he'd have no interest in directing the likes of a Marvel film. He continues to say that he wouldn't want to waste his time trying to get the rights to do something like a Spawn movie reboot either, and that he'll simply keep doing what I am going to do. Now this is what he said, and basically just what I said there, this is what he said, but I'll say it again. I need to re-strategize in terms of what I'm pitching to a studio. Like, how do I be me and survive in the environment? Because while they wouldn't have me anyway, I wouldn't want to direct a Marvel movie, and I'm also not going to try to get the rights to Spawn or something either. I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to do, but I don't know that everybody's nerves right now. You know, everyone's nervous and it's justifiable. I don't really know what he's talking about there, John, in terms of people's nerves, but I don't want him to do an MCU film, I'll be honest with you. I like Robert Eggers films. I like him doing his films. I like Robert Eggers doing Robert Eggers films.
Yes.
John, we talked about, we didn't say it, but when the talk of obviously Black Panther 2 came out, I'm sure it was, people were throwing names about. Jordan Peele was one of the ones that stood out for me that people were trying to push, and I'm like, I don't want Jordan Peele anywhere near the MCU.
No.
I like Jordan Peele doing Jordan Peele films, and it is, you know, you can say the obvious ones, the Chris Nolans and the Tarantinos, etc., John, but there is directors out there who can go and do their independent films and do them really well, and they put their mark on it, and you go, you know, that's a Taika Waititi film.
Yeah.
All over it. But in the case of Taika Waititi, he can come in and do an MCU film and do it really well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Robert Eggers couldn't do a good job of it. I just think he's one of those directors that has a very certain style and a very niche sort of template to his films. If you look at the likes of the Lighthouse and things like that. We've not seen this film yet, John.
No.
The Northman. I know it has been out.
I want to see it.
Yeah,
because it looks fantastic.
Yeah, we reacted to it and it looks incredible. Willem Dafoe's in there, John, one of your favourite actors. Don't know how big a role he's got, but he's go-to.
He's playing a sort of holy man.
Yeah.
If my mind serves me correctly. He's a guy who's, a holy man. Sort of slightly deranged pastor.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really see Robert Eggers. You look at some of the sort of more standalone out there characters as well in the MCU or in Marvel Comics, I should say. I just don't see his sort of style fitting into that template at all. And there's numerous directors out there that just can do it. But then again,
no one would have thought Taika Waititi.
No, exactly.
Perhaps when he was going down the hunt for the wilder people, when he was doing what they do in the shadows, what we do in the shadows.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Kevin Feige would have been watching that movie. He'd have seen the humour. He'd have seen the sort of directorial brilliance, the cult following he has, and he would have probably fit into the framework that they have for directors up until the cast brought Sam Raimi in, of course. That was, for me, a watershed moment where the MCU was finally able to bring in a veteran director.
Scott Derrickson. I didn't think he'd be able to do it, so...
But they were looking for those sort of younger, up-and-coming directors. I say younger, I mean, I don't know how old Taika is. He's certainly not young anymore, but he was a sort of youngish director. He's not a Scorsese, he's not a Francis Ford Coppola. They were looking for guys like that with a following. Obviously, they bring him in. Absolute success before Ragnarok. I don't think anyone would have envisaged that 10 years ago.
No, definitely not. But
so it'd be the same with Eggers. He's a fairly youngish director.
John, he says in this...
There's room within the next decade or so for something to manifest.
I get what he's saying though, in terms of where he says I wouldn't want to direct a Marvel movie, because they wouldn't have me anyway. I get what he's saying there, because I think you look at the likes of Dallas Bryce
yes.
Howard, you look at the likes of Deborah Chow. These are the up and coming directors that
I'll just
search
one up there, Minari as well.
Yeah.
Lee Isaac Chung.
Yeah, that was a fantastic film.
Thought he was pretty damn fucking good as a director. He's only born in 78, Stephen, so he's a couple of years younger than you.
Yeah.
He's still a pretty young director.
Yeah.
So there is certainly young directors out there, but they're more independent minded. And I think what he's saying there, that everybody's nervous right now, I think that's sort of him speaking about the nature of modern day cinema. Modern day films being dominated by sort of lycra, I'm trying to think of the right word here, spandex-clad superheroes.
Yep.
That's kind of what's dominating just now. That and then maybe Star Wars, but Star Wars even now has restructured to TV. So I think that there's a concern that indie movies, the smaller movies, your rom-coms with Meg Ryan and stuff like that were massive 20-30 years ago, these interesting different little stories like I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, The Witch was mental.
Yeah.
That's not a movie that's going to make $1 billion at the box office. No. So is it going to be something that's at the forefront of a studio's mind when they're pushing out? Even Robert Eggers is saying he has to shake it up. Yeah. He has to do something different. He has to think outside the box to keep getting his movies made. John, and this guy's fucking supreme.
Who was the studio that did The Invisible Man again?
The Invisible Man, I think that was Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blumhouse. They had just a lot onto themselves.
But that's where Eggers sits, I think. I think, if he is simply going to say, keep doing what I'm going to do, he's not going to change. He's not going to change that format, that sort of formula that's took him into these films we've just talked about. And that's fine. I don't mind that at all. Not every director out there has to do an MCU film, certainly not. But I think there is a type that can do it, and some directors just can't do it. And I'm not going to rhyme off the Scorseses and the... I actually
think Scorsese could make a great Marvel movie. I'm sure there's got to be... There is a whole litany of different characters within these superhero comics. I'm sure there's got to be some sort of Italian, American sort of... Italiano, I was going to say there. I don't know why. American mobster sort of setting where we can. I think that's something you could explore in DC. That's why obviously Todd Phillips done it with Joker.
Yeah.
And he used his production company.
DC's a bit different, wasn't it? It's a bit more
Darker.
gritty and darker, yeah.
Lends itself more to drama.
Yeah, and I think that's... I can't even see Eggers doing that, to be honest with you. I think these films are just too... I don't mean out there, but they're just a certain...
No,
way.
they're artistic.
Yeah.
The Lighthouse. Yeah. No one's doing that shit these days.
No, exactly.
There's very few people doing it. But Stephen, look, man, you don't need, as you did say, without repeating everything you've said, you don't need every single talented director coming up and doing a Marvel movie. Doesn't have to happen. They've always had their specific guys and gals they've been drawn to. Ari Aster's, your Robert Eggers, your Jordan Peele's.
Yeah, Ari
These
Aster,
are
yeah, good one.
Slightly less mainstream independent filmmakers. I'm trying for the life of me to find that American, US Korean director, lady, did a movie for A24. I can never remember the name of the movie, but she had a great comment, or a great sort of monologue on modern day cinema. She had the choice to go to Netflix and disappear into a sea of content, but she chose to go to A24 and have her movie produced and build up slowly. You've got these directors like her, in Lightyear, Jordan Peele's, your Ari Aster's, your Robert Eggers. They want to do things differently. They're for me the next Nolans, the next Tarantinos.
Yeah.
They don't. These guys aren't doing Marvel movies, so there's a place for the both of them. And Stephen, what I've been saying for years now, man, as long as we've been doing this sort of stuff, audio, video, this is why the argument from your Scorsese's, your Coppola's, doesn't add up. Even your Denis Villeneuve's, he'd never do a Marvel movie. Always got a lot to fucking say about it though.
Yeah.
About how it's corrupt in cinema, it's taking over, it's the end of cinema as we know it, film as we know it, because you can't say cinema. There will always be directors, actors, producers, studio execs who will want to come in and make those kind of movies. They will always be there.
I think, John, as well, for in terms of the comic book genre and its sort of period in time just now in cinematic history, it has its time just now. I don't think it will always be there. I think it will have something that will always be in and around, but certainly not impactful as it is at the moment. I don't see Phase 4 being as impactful as the first 3 phases in MCU.
No.
But it's still a way to go, you know, so I can't really say it's not going to surpass it or it's going to be underwhelming in any way. But a lot of people have been saying about the Phase 4 that there doesn't seem to be an end game, there doesn't seem to be a pathway like there was in the first 3 phases. Where you got the Infinity Saga. I think it's just because nature of the MCU now is so secretive that they can't really tell you much. You know, they'll tell you what films are coming out, but they will not give you plot. They will not give you who's been cast unless you watch Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm doing my best to keep away from it. It's very hard when you're looking at movie topics to talk about. Certainly,
still not fucking seen it.
No, we've not done
this weekend.
Movie Burner's my arse. We'll get
it's
there.
just very busy just now for some reason. I simply cannot find time
you're
in the
editing
fucking day.
your ass off at the moment.
Yeah, I cannot find a fucking hour in the day.
No, and
The Farewell, by the way, was the name of that movie. Finally got it. Lulu Wang. It was fucking Lulu Wang.
Yeah.
It was Lulu Wang.
Yeah.
I literally spoke about Lulu Wang. It was
and YouTube are giving us a hard time at the moment as well. We did do
fucking
Obi-Wan
it there.
episode, Obi-Wan Kenobi episodes 1 and 2. Obviously our first episode
same night,
went out. No problem. Episode 2 on the other hand had 2 blocks already, so I know you will get around it, John. I know you're very persistent in that when you don't like to be beaten by anyone, any of those studios.
I will not be beaten.
Yeah, and we've got Family Man to finish off as well, but yes. Northman, we watched the trailer for this, we reacted to it, liked it a lot, and we will get to see that as well. And John,
it's Skarsgård, isn't it? It's
Alexander
Skarsgård.
Tarzan, yeah.
And Steve,
a good actor, yeah.
Something that's obviously entrenched in Scotland, the subject of Vikings and their rich culture. We've got a fucking centre detailing Vikings and their sort of impact on the British Isles. 25 minutes down the road in Largs.
Yep.
So it's something that's close to our culture's hearts. So it's something I've always been intrigued by, Vikings and that era, the brutality of it, but also the sort of heroism, not giving 2 fucks, getting out and mapping out a brave new world. So something that I love. And then at the heart of that, you get this story of him being wronged as a kid, and going and avenging.
Yeah.
And it's Edgar's, and it's great actors in there, so it looked visceral to me.
Yeah.
By all accounts, he rips the actual entrails out of a character at one point in the movie.
I mean, I
want to see it, and I will see it.
You know, as it says, it has had a disappointing box office. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad film.
No,
you know,
there's been loads of movies.
I've heard glowing reports about this film, so I think it's just.
Is this a guy that's really worried about the box office? Do you think The Lighthouse done well at the box office? Do you think The Witch done well at the box office? That's not what it's all about.
Not for him anyway.
Again, it goes back to the heart of that conversation about what makes a successful film. Is it raw box office numbers, or is it actual creative content, artistic content, critical sort of success? Because there's been movies over the last 30, 40, 50 years which have not made a fucking dime, to quote the Americans, or a pence over here in terms of money at the box office, but they've been huge critical success. Maybe even delayed reaction. I think a Shawshank didn't win a single Oscar, didn't get nominated. Now widely regarded as one of the greatest movies of all time. I don't think that made a lot of money at the box office. I watched Morgan Freeman speaking about that movie.
No.
He says that there was issues with the fucking title. The Shawshank Redemption. People couldn't quite understand the title. They were misremembering it.
Yeah.
So that broke the sort of link of word of mouth. So doesn't mean it's a bad movie just because it's not making $1 billion at the box office. Not every single movie. The only movies doing that are Marvel movies. They're the only ones doing it. For
now anyway, John, but you're absolutely right. Donnie Darko is another one that sticks in my head, you know, John. It absolutely flopped in America. It had a cult following in the UK for such a long time, and then when its DVD release came around, it had this second wind. It's an amazing film. John, you and I have obviously reviewed that film.
I love that movie,
and it's an incredible film. But you're absolutely right.
Obsessed with tapping into that style just now as well, aren't they, with Stranger Things and stuff, that sort of 80s and 90s vibe.
Yeah.
That's all the rage just now.
I love it.
But they did that.
I loved it the first time around.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking over you, Steve.
That's okay, John. I'm absolutely done just now because I know that we've got some recordings to do. So it was always going to be one topic anyway tonight, and I just want, just to round it up, Eggers, I want him to keep doing what he's doing because I like what he does, you know, and I don't really see him fitting into the MCU anyway. I think a lot of people who are fans of Eggers would probably call him a sellout if he actually joined the MCU. But he's kind of burnt his bridges anyway by saying he doesn't want to, you know, and he says they don't want me anyway. So take of that what you will.
That they highlight a specific filmmaker to come in and make their movies. They know what they've got. Maybe Villeneuve is right in a strange way. Maybe it is kind of cut and paste in terms of not the movies themselves, but the framework that makes these movies work, the directors that actually come in and make movies. There is restrictions. There's only a certain kind of personality who will come into a restricted sandbox. Because there'll be a degree of freedom, but they have to, I'm trying to think of the right word here and I can't think of it, adhere to the overall creative vision that is Phase 4, 5, 6 and beyond. There's guys that not come in and do that, specific directors like your Robert Eggers, your Nolans.
That's why Derrickson walked away, wasn't it?
It was, because he wasn't happy with his vision of the movie not becoming the reality, and of course they bring in Sam Raimi. So I respect Robert Eggers for coming out and saying, nope, there we go, we're getting the intro again. That was late.
Hi
everybody, welcome back. I respect him for coming out and saying, look, no, I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it, I've no interest, they wouldn't want me anyway, I'll just keep making my fucking movies. Going to go along and watch my movie, by the way, it's out in the theatres. Going to make some money for me so I can continue making these great movies. No one else is making movies like this. Going to get your fucking lazy arses off the sofa or the couch as we call it and get in a theatre and watch my movie. That's basically what this is. It's a artistic way of drumming up interest. Look, I've got a movie out, going to fucking watch it, please. I will name drop Marvel so that you know this movie exists. Remember that guy that was in Tarzan with his fucking waterboard abs?
Yep.
He's in the movie, man. Willem Dafoe, he was in No Way Home. He's in the movie as well. Come and watch it, guys. You didn't need to do Marvel. Let Taika do Marvel. Let Jamesy boy, Gunn, who's now at DC, do the comic book movies. They've got it sewn up. These guys know what they're doing. But look, I'm going to sew it up. It's over. Short and sweet. I want to say that has lasted 21 minutes and 35 seconds and a good 5 minutes, maybe not as much as that. 2.5, 3 minutes of that was music. Shit music at that. Non-copyrighted.
John, it's all about
music.
Top Gun and Doctor Strange. So
it's all about Top Gun. And Stephen, I know you've never seen the original Top Gun.
Nah, I don't care for it.
I have seen the original Top Gun. Well, bits of it anyway. I was probably young when I first seen it because it was a 90s movie, wasn't it? Early 90s. 80s movie. I was growing up in the 90s, I was aware of it. I've seen the volleyball stuff, I've seen it. The fucking score and stuff like that. I need to go back and refresh original Top Gun, and then I will go and watch Maverick potentially. I'm hearing it's a good movie.
Yeah,
everyone's saying it's fucking great.
Yeah,
it's a blast from the past, just unapologetic kind of action movie with Tom Cruise in it and Val Kilmer.
Yeah,
probably with a, what do you call those little things? Cravat.
Yeah.
He's rocking the cravat just now because of course he had his trachea.
Yeah,
because of illness. Something put in it. I don't know what you call it. I'm not a doctor. But yeah, I'll get round to that, maybe. First I need to get round to seeing Doctor Strange because it's an absolute disgrace now. How far out are we now, Steve? 3.5 weeks?
Yeah, almost a month.
Fucking ridiculous, man. It's getting beyond the joke.
We were supposed to be doing a review with Sin and...
Apologies, Sin. That's twice we've done that now. We were meant to see Venom Let There Be Carnage. I'm usually one that says that reviews don't put me off go to see a movie, but the reviews put me off go to see it. Sin, your review put me off go to see a movie.
It was a good review.
You reviewed it not long after coming out the theatre, and you didn't fill me with enthusiasm, so I thought, fuck it. Stephen can go on and talk about it. Stephen didn't do it either.
No.
So we need to get our shit together. That's what I'm saying here, basically. But let's go round that up.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on Robert Eggers as a man, as a director, as a creative force, as an artistic sort of wizard?
You sounded like Peter Cushing there, John.
Peter Cushing. I've been doing Peter Cushing wildly today. A lot. I don't know why, but I have. I've been doing a lot of right now. We shall redouble our efforts. Been doing a lot of him and a lot of Alec Guinness. That's what Kenobi does to you. It refreshes. I've been doing a lot of Star Wars today. I went down a rabbit hole in Star Wars and I've done it again. We can roll our R's like these Spaniards, sir.
Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers. What's your thoughts on Robert Eggers as a man, as a director? Do you think he should ever step into Marvel, work in cahoots with the likes of Kevin Feige and Bob Chapek over at Disney Marvel, make a superhero movie? You can comment down below if you've got any thoughts on that. Or do you think, like us, he doesn't have to, he can just stay true to his current path, which is yielding results for him? Regardless of what you've got to say, anything you want to share at all belongs in the comment section down there or over there. I don't know where the fuck it is. See my hand there? You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyeballs, and until next time, me and Stephen are done. Hit the follow button over on Twitch as well, notifications over there. How could I forget that, silly sausage that I am? Until the next time, me and Stephen are done. Bye bye guys. Really have to get that sorted. OBS, fucking two separate macro keys here, man, and every time I go to mute and then switch on the end screen, it changes the scene. OBS is fucking shit. That's what I'm saying.
OBS.
In a sense.